Round 5 was a difficult round for a lot of teams, but thankfully our team took advantage with a 2,267. We moved into the top 10k for the first time this season, up to 7,423 overall. So we ended up making two trades. First one was Gibcus to O'Driscoll. The thinking there was, while Gibcus has played his role well, his ceiling isn't that high in SuperCoach, so he was expendable. We brought O'Driscoll in. There was no way he could get dropped after his game against the Giants. And against Essendon, he absolutely delivered. Played off the wing, lethal left boot, back-to-back tons, and very important cash gen for us, especially missing the likes of Brody and, to a lesser extent, Naish. And the second trade was Stevens to Bruce. So if Bruce doesn't get named this week, that probably backfires on us. I made that trade because I wanted more flexibility for round 6 trades. My thinking was Bruce should come straight back in. He's played really well the first couple games, so we'll bring him in now to add more flexibility for round 6, just in case there's a couple of others that might be important downgrade options. At least I've gotten the Bruce trade out of the way, so hopefully it doesn't backfire and he does get named. But going through the team now, Crisp, really good. Besides the clangers, I think he had 9 of them, and he gave up a 50 in the fourth quarter, so this could have been around the 125 mark. But he played a great game. Short, stinker. Didn't really think he had one of these games in him, being the main distributor of halfback, but somehow managed a 0 possession fourth quarter. So I don't think we'll be seeing too many more of these from him, but yeah, that's no good. Hewitt has been unreal. 399k, 118 average, 5 rounds in. Absolutely exceeding expectations right now, and he's currently D1. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, Lockie Whitfield, 80 average through 5 rounds. Real rough start for him. He was better though against Melbourne, 25 touches, looked more like the normal Whitfield. It's just that he butchered it so much, especially early on, and when players butcher the ball to start a game, most of the time champion data just never brings it back for him. That Dream Team SuperCoach differential just gets higher and higher and higher as the game goes on. So I had a bad feeling when he racked up those clangers in the first that it was going to be one of those high Dream Team scores, low SuperCoach scores, and unfortunately that's what it ended up being. But like I said, the possession count was a more positive sign, and hopefully he can keep that up and just clean up his ball use. McCartan just doing what he normally does, trucking along, 68, a little bit of cash made, very nice. O'Driscoll, we've touched on. Hinge unfortunately didn't play, but should come back. He is important to Adelaide's structure. And De Koning, slow burn, does some good things here and there. The midfield, J-Mac, 153, skipper, too good. Lockie Neal, looked like we'd take his score as VC at the half. It wasn't to be, but I guess it was a blessing in disguise. Tuke Miller, I think it's been widely highlighted. His tackling numbers have been a bit alarming the past couple of weeks. He's still scoring decent without them, but we've picked him because he's one of the best two-way mids. His work rate, we all know that. So hopefully he can get it going again. Parrish had a great first half and a much more quiet second half as Essendon got destroyed. There were a couple of defensive efforts that were highlighted, really poor from him. So hopefully he and Essendon see the criticism they've copped throughout the week and really wake up for that Anzac Day match. Parrish really got his 2021 season going from Anzac Day onwards, so hopefully that's the case again. Cornelio had a great second half, and a bit of a quiet second half as Melbourne destroyed GWS, so it's fine. Barry's been doing nicely. That shoulder though, massive concern. It just feels like it's gonna fall off every time. But I guess as long as he's playing, it's fine. He's been doing well so far. Dacos getting mid-defender status, really nice. We'll chuck him into defense this round, I think. Juan Francis, just a 39, a lot of clangers, disappointing. Rochelle, very quiet 3/4, looked lively in the 4th. I guess that's what you get with a small forward. It's always going to be a bit of a roller coaster with his scoring. Ward made a couple of errors at crucial moments, so that 65 could have been a lot better. It feels like we've been saying every week, it looks like he's building, he's gonna get that big score eventually. Really hope it happens soon. And McDonald, like a couple of other rookies, slow burn. The Rucks, English, 138, love to see it. And Grundy, worst score in a very long time. Really disappointing, but I'm gonna keep the faith in him. I don't want to be trading out premiums, especially during upgrade season. Hopefully he can bounce back on Anzac Day against the Bombers, who he historically scores well against. Not having Gawn does hurt, but on the other hand, the Gawn trade back in round 2 got me English and Heaney. So I can't say I regret it. I couldn't have traded Grundy instead of Gawn, because I wouldn't have had enough cash for it. If I did, gee, I'd probably be hurting right now, but the trades had to go the way they did, and I can't complain having English and Heaney right now. And the forward line, Dunkley, last couple of weeks, just putting it together, nothing special. Hopefully we can see some of those big ceiling games from him soon. Heaney, another big 4th quarter, I think almost 50 points in the final term, and in junk time, so I can see why some people were criticizing it, but as a Heaney owner, we take that for sure. Butters bounced back in a big way, playing midfield, he was everywhere, really good to see. Sherry also bounced back big time. Martin, very solid as usual. And we fielded Hayes over Dixon. Really good result. Got an extra 51 points there. So I guess having O'Driscoll and Hayes on field kind of makes up for last week's rookie roulette loss, fielding Ward over Rochelle. But the forward bench, Dixon, still a little more money to make, and Durden, guess we can't expect too much from a small forward. His break-even's still in the negatives, I think, so that's good. Trades this week are tough. I think I'll use another boost, so I've got that activated there. Upgrade season has started, and I feel like most will be making their first upgrade this week. So I think I gotta be aggressive with my trades. I think I'm only around 200 points behind the top 1k. It's so close point-wise in the rankings, and that's why I feel like I've got to be aggressive. So my initial thoughts on trades are Durden out. I know I just said he's got a negative break-even, but I'm okay with letting him go, especially compared to Dixon, anyone else here. I don't want to be trading. Durden's the most expendable here. And then McCartan out. And then Horn Francis out. You can make the case for all of these guys. None of them need to be traded right now. They've still got more cash to make. And that's fair. But I just feel like these guys are the most expendable when it comes to my downgrades and upgrades. I can chuck Dacos in defense to fill McCartan's spot. or Driscoll obviously we can't let go of. Hinge I feel like has more scoring power than McCartan. I guess if Hinge doesn't come back he can go instead of McCartan, but I like Hinge a little more. And then Horne-Francis, I guess I'd prefer to trade Rochelle over him, but I can't make the trades I want to make unless it is Horne-Francis out. Rochelle does have a lower break even because he's still got that 106 in his rolling average, but against the Dogs this week that's going to be pretty tough. Anyway, as for the trades I want to do, first player in Roses for Durden, couple of 70s on the bubble now. I think he'll be a good rookie to have. And then our upgrade will be Christian Petrarca. I feel like my side is in need of a Melbourne player after trading out Gawn, and Petrarca is pretty close to bottom price. He has Richmond this week, Hawthorn, West Coast, North Melbourne all coming up soon. The fixture really opens up for him, so I am very happy to be trading him in. I know he's a bit of a butcher, we experienced that all of 2021, but he just looks better than last season. So I'm definitely happy to bring him in. And for that last spot, I know the normal rule is to not bring in rookies a week early, but Sam Hayes should have that number one ruck role locked up for a fair bit with Lysette out. His tank is a bit of a concern. I think he played around mid 60s time on ground, but he was good. So I am okay with bringing him in a week early. It allows the upgrade to happen. I guess the other scenario without using a boost would be Horne-Francis down to Roses and then Berry up to Petrarca, but I don't want to be trading two of the likes of Horne-Francis and Berry. So we'll stick with these trades for now. Durden, McCartan, Horne-Francis to Roses, Petrarca, and Hayes leaves me with 3.5k in the bank. So this will be how the team looks heading into round 6. I'm really happy with this. On-field gets better, bench is looking solid. Captains this week, I don't know if I have a loop. If I don't, I'll probably just straight see McRae. If I do, VC on McRae, C on Neil. Could stick with this, or Petrarca. He was best on against Richmond last year. That's an option. Parrish on Anzac Day, another option there. Of course, Tuca's always in consideration, but Berry could tag him. That's a possibility. I'll probably just stick with this. Maybe Petrarca. I'll think about that. With the cash I have in the bank, I don't think I'll be able to upgrade next week, but I'm okay with that. I think I've learnt from last year, if there's the option to be aggressive and make that upgrade, might as well do it. Last year I could have gone Goulden to Walsh early. I decided not to because of how good Goulden was those first few weeks, and that cost me almost 100 points. So if there's the opportunity to be aggressive and upgrade earlier, I'll take that and then stand pat the week after. Definitely got to take the opportunity for more points if it's there. I guess another question for next week will be the forward rookie on field, because right now it's Hayes and I'm quite happy to field him for this week, but when Ryder comes back, what happens? Hayes could get dropped, or if they play all three of them, his ceiling is massively capped. So we'll have to figure something out there, but we'll get to that when the time comes. Finally, a couple of talking points before we end off the video. Hall doing the hammy. The durability concern was there, and unfortunately it came to a reality against the Dogs. He was on track for a great game too. He's definitely a trade, and who you trade him to? Plenty of good options. Doherty dropped his lowest score, but still a very good option. The Carlton defenders love to share the ball around. Stewart, very, very safe. Crisp, if you don't have him, durable and safe pick as well. Lloyd, ceiling isn't what it once was, but like the other two, solid and safe pick. Sinclair has been a really good pod to start the season. Hasn't dropped under the ton. I guess the question would be, how does his scoring look when some of their injured guys come back? But at this stage, he'd be a really good pod to have. Sicily isn't a value pick anymore. Still playing an accountable role. He won't be racking up 15 marks every week. Obviously, he's good enough to drop scores like this, but the consistency I'm not as sure about because of the role he's playing, but should still be fine. Ridley and Whitfield, a couple of the more popular starting selections, and they've been very underwhelming. I think at this point, with upgrade season, you just gotta ride the bumps, and then I guess if things don't improve, the buys will probably be a good time to trade them out. I just don't really rate trading those types out at this point when you want to start upgrading your team. I'd rather just keep the faith, and if things just don't improve to the buys, then that will be a better time to look to trade them out. And then of course the DPP changes. Defense, Pendles and Zorko are probably the most relevant there. They're both up there in age, so that might be a concern. Zorko has already been dealing with injury, so I don't know if I'll be looking to bring them in, but they're definitely interesting options as defenders now. And the forward line, Libba, don't think I'll bring in, just don't know how Bevo's going to use him week by week. Luke Parker, been playing a lot more forward, obviously that's why he's got the DPP, but his season so far has been a couple of big scores and 3 poor ones, so the consistency will be the biggest question mark with him. I think I'd still prefer the likes of Taranto, DeGoey over him. But yeah, that just about does it. Let me know how you went, your thoughts on trades. Good luck to you all for round 6, and see you on the next one.